tomorrow, Tuesday, 21st of October, a major literacy and historical moment unfolds as two powerful books by renowned author and businessman Dr. Munzali Dantata are set for public presentation in Abuja. Now, the first, Behind the City Wall, is a sweeping journey through 100 years of Kano's rich history, seen through the eyes of three generations, capturing the spirit, politics, and evolution of one of Africa's great cities. The second, Aminu Dantata, Life and Times of a Nigeria Entrepreneur, is a deeply personal biography of one of Nigeria's most respected business icons, offering insight into a life of vision, legacy, and leadership. The official launch takes place on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 at the Shehu Musayar Adwa Center in Abuja by 9 a.m. And this morning, we're honored to have the author himself, Dr. Munzali Dantata, here in the studio to talk about the books, the inspiration behind them, and why these stories matter now more than ever. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, let's jump right in. Briefly give us a summary of your, of your books that will be unveiled tomorrow.
Well, briefly, like you just said, the main book, which is Behind the City Wall, is about Kano, economic history of Kano. And the title is informed because Kano is a walled city. It has a wall, circular wall surrounding it, which is a national monument, by the way. And I was born in Kano City. Today, Kano Metropolitan is bigger than the old walled city. My parents too were all born there, and my grandfather was the one who settled there from a village called, a town called Bebeji, and he settled there around 1910. So that's how I got, I picked the title. And Kano has gone through a lot from 1903, when it was incorporated into first the colony of northern Nigeria, which was merged in 1914 with the colony of southern Nigeria to become Nigeria. So my grandfather was a young man in his mid-20s in 1903. If I go even a little further back, 1900, when Britain declared the two colonies, by that time it was not in control. It took 3 years of warfare to eventually overrun at least the northern part. So most of the southern part was already under Britain.
So you opened the book with, such a strong image of Behind the City Wall. Yes. I mean, what inspired that title, and what does the wall symbolizes?
Well, by the way, the second book, which is like a book two.
So, yeah.
So each of the two books is independent, but my late uncle, Aminu Dantata, may his soul rest in peace, in the last 5 years, he granted me audience, and we talked a lot. His grandfather, so he is a first generation Nigerian. His grandfather, was not a Nigerian. There was no Nigeria. So and that's my grandfather. So he picked the story from his father, and then he was born in colonial time, just like myself. But I was born at the tail end in 1957. All
right, Dr. Dantata, hold your thoughts. Let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation, and we'll love to, ask you more questions concerning the books that you are, set to unveil tomorrow. Let's take a short breather now. Daybreak will be back shortly. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. I was still in the studio with our guest, Dr. Munzali Dantata. Kindly walk us through your research process, for the book. How did you blend history, personal stories, or imagination to get behind the wall of the city?
Okay, well, thank you. First of all, I'd like to say what motivated me is that, modesty aside, coming from Kano, Kano is a great city. First of all, it is the oldest city in West Africa. It is only cities like Cairo, like Carthage, or in Ethiopia, there's, I can't remember the name of the cities there, that are older. But in our region, West Africa, Kano is the oldest urban metropolis when people started coming together. And then it's a city built on commerce. That's how Kano grew. There are a lot of firsts, which you will be shocked when you read in the book. For example, the first industry in Nigeria was Masaka in Kano, a textile. Before then, there was no industry. When the British were ruling, they wanted to be shipping only raw material. And the only thing that resembles industry is like the ginnery in Funtua, where they are sorting out cotton for export, or maybe palm kernel in the Niger Delta, where they are processing to palm oil for export. But the first real industry which produced finished product for Nigeria was in Kano, a textile, and followed by another industry which was in Kaduna. The first industry was a private sector, and my grandfather was behind that factory. And then the second was by Samad Bello, the Kaduna textile, also another textile. The first airport also was the Kano airport. The first time a plane landed in Nigeria was in Kano. And throughout the colonial period, Kano was the air gateway, and Lagos was the sea gateway to Nigeria. And Kano was the economic capital of West Africa before the colonial period began. So all these things, about Kano, Lugard settled in Kano for about 6 months when he was conquering northern Nigeria, what he called the pacification of the north. And it was in Kano that he unveiled his indirect rule, and also where he lived, which is called Bompai. That was the first GRA. So there are so many things about Kano, and today Kano is still leading, but I would say unfortunately now Kano is demoted to, at best, economic capital of northern Nigeria. So you can imagine a city that was economic capital of West Africa, even though till today you still have West Africans coming to Kano to shop, especially for agricultural products, and even finished products that end up in the markets of Kano. So Kano itself is one big commercial city.
So did you encounter any surprise or unexpected findings while writing, something that changed your original view of the story or setting?
Well, when I set up to write, by the way, I've been working on this project for about 10 years, on and off, being from Kano. So I'm writing about a city I was born in, and I knew so much about, even from folklore. Then I started the research, and then sometimes I'll go off for a few years, and then I'll come back. But as I said, I was shocked with some of the findings which I made, which were from my research. I've always known that Kano has always been an economic city. It has never been a political capital, even during the days of the Sokoto Caliphate. The capital was in Sokoto, but the economic capital was in Kano. And during the time of northern Nigeria, the capital was in Kaduna, but the economic capital was in Kano. So Kano has always, and even in the times of Songhai Empire, Kano had been under Songhai, but so Kano has always been driven by commerce, and it had many districts, which I grew up knowing them: Masaka, Mayenka, Marina, that is the textiles, tannery, and all that. And it was the textile capital also of West Africa. North Africans came down to Kano, and they bought textile, they bought leather, and Kano leather had entered Europe during the trans-Sahara trade as Moroccan leather. So the Moroccans would come and obtain it from Kano, and this is leather from across northern Nigeria brought to Kano when they discovered that the Moroccans were buying. So it came from Katsina, from Azaria, from Daura, from all over the Hausa city-states. who have perfected tannery. Until today, the leather is one of the leading industries in Kano that is still ongoing. So Kano, is an inspiration. What motivated me is that I think Kano has always led West Africa in commerce, and now things are not going on very well. So I feel if Kano gets it right, if I can write a motivating story, holding a mirror and a roadmap, a mirror for us to look at the achievements. And I've not even mentioned the Granite Pyramid, which is the latest. So Kano has been there before the Granite Pyramids when we were dealing with the Arabs in North Africa. But then when the British came and they wanted raw materials, they killed our industry, including even the textile, because they wanted the cotton. So they were always just looking for raw materials. And granite easily became, the biggest raw material that they were obtaining from Kano. And at one time, even the leading export of Nigeria. And so that was when the famous Granite Pyramids came up, because the train could not carry all the granites that were being produced, because our parents went to work producing granites, and it became a problem. So that's how the Granite Pyramids came, which today are still an inspiration. If you remember, during the time of Buhari, they even built pyramids of rice. Yeah. So pyramid is still an inspiration in the north. And I want to use this book to remind us of those good days. And if we did it for the British, now let's do it for ourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Munzali Dantata, for stopping by, speaking with us this morning concerning your books, and congratulations on your book launch. All right, we have come to the end of Daybreak this morning. Thank you to everyone who called in during our phone-in segment and also sent in via WhatsApp message. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for more. I am Mimana Bagodo. Do have a great day.